Socialist. Hi till mine venner. Hi everyone. Hi lads and lasses. Morten Ostad here with another video. And in this video, well, I came back from my last trip to my house in Denmark. Not that late yesterday. Actually, I got in here about 6 o'clock. Having traveled for a good 14 hours probably. Yeah, had to get up very early in Skagen, and I was carrying more luggage than I had sort of anticipated. So yeah, my back, which is already kind of, wasn't all that happy about that. But one of the reasons, of course, was that I had packed. I had gotten people to pack my personal belongings and put them in storage in Denmark. And my house is no longer my house as of the 1st of June. Today is May 30th, and I have to go away for the month on June 1st to go on another monthly stint at the health place that I have been frequenting for the past, just over a year. May last year, that's correct. So one of the reasons I was carrying this heavy load was that I did also bring some of my old records from Skagen up to Norway, which might seem weird if I would dream of finding a small place there and moving down there again, but all that's up in the air, and these were records that I really want to listen to, and some of them helps nearly getting my various collections complete. So that's one of the reasons. But you have your backpack and you're thinking, oh, yep, no, that'll fit in there. So that's as long as it fits in the backpack and the big, sort of IKEA bag that I'm bringing along, it'll be fine. But apparently I have a problem linking volume with weight. So anyway, guys, this is what I brought from Denmark, except the 7 inches, because I plan on making a sort of a catch-up 7-inch singles video, because I got like a few here and there, so I just thought I'd sort of bring them together and make a separate video for that. So let's go have a look. Stuff I brought from Denmark. So first, some cassettes. We have Rolling Stones Rolled Gold Volume 1, and then we also have the Rolling Stones Rolled Gold Volume 2. Now, these two cassettes are, I assume, sides 1 and 2 from the Gatefold double album we got in 1975. I have that vinyl, by the way. They were never reissued as such, but the reason for that is that the American London release sort of took over the role of these. But I've always had been fondness for this Decca compilation that came in 75. Now there is actually a Rolled Gold Volume 2. It has looks just like this, but it's orange instead. And I think they made cassettes of that, but I have that on vinyl, so it's more this color. So funny cover where you have Brian Jones and Mick Taylor both on the same cover there. And then I brought back my Goat's Head Soup by the Rolling Stones, and my Emotional Rescue cassette. These are the CBS reissues, and what was that, sort of mid 1980s. They are listed as a US, so I'm not sure they were made here in Europe. Next up, we have the Rolling Stones again with Tattoo You. So I would have had to fill like a couple of grocery bags of cassettes probably if I was going to bring all my old cassettes up from there. So they're now hopefully safely in storage, but I brought up my Rolling Stones ones. I hope I still have my Sticky Fingers one here somewhere, because now I can't find it. But anyway, and finally we have Dirty Work. This here is the Dirty Work cassette. Yeah, there we go. And now to the stuff you came for, the vinyl. So, staying with the Rolling Stones, I did leave quite a few of my old Rolling Stones behind, sort of mid-1970s compilations and so on. Made of Rock or whatever they're called. Slow Rollers and so on. They're still down there, but yeah, I wanted to bring this one. So this is Metamorphosis. Again, it's 1975. I think this was like the second or third compilation that Decca pushed out around this time without the Rolling Stones, agreeing to it. The first one was Stone Age back in 71, I think, which was released on the same day as a Rolling Stones release, I think. And where they actually, bought ad space to tell people not to buy it because they hadn't. But by this time, I think they sort of gave up. Now, this one is a little bit different because it does contain, instead of just reissuing stuff and then having one track from the barrel, scraping the barrel to, make people. These are actually various tracks that might not have seen the light of day. And for me, who is a big fan, my favorite Rolling Stone member has always, since I was a kid. And I mean, I've been a fan of the Rolling Stones since I was 6 years old. It's always been Bill Wyman. I always liked Bill Wyman. And there are 2 Bill Wyman tracks written by Bill Wyman in the Rolling Stones history. The other one, of course, is on His Majesty's Satanic Request, on her, In Another Land. But there's one on this one. It's called Downtown Susie, and I think most of the tracks here are under 3 minutes long. But I think it's the longest track, 3 minutes 51. Yeah. So B. Wyman, it says there. Here you go. I must say, I kind of love the artwork, and I think when I got this back in the day, I had recently seen that Doctor Who episode with the derelict spaceship and giant insects and larvae that were, was it Tom Baker? God, that thing scared me. So this one, I think, added to that. Anyway, so moving on, more Rolling Stones. This is one of the records that I have been thinking I want to get newer copies of most of my Rolling Stones records because a lot of them are really worn. This one, however, seems very okay. And I'm guessing it's been 30 years since this was last played, and it is actually 40 years old this year, 1986, right? So this is Dirty Work. So now we can do like this. Isn't it Jeff or Chris who does this on Instagram? And if you're thinking, who's Jeff and Chris? Well, they're fellow members of the vinyl community. There you are, guys. And I've actually played this a couple of times. I always try to do the last thing I do every year and the first thing I do a new year. And always on my birthday, last thing I listen to before I turn whatever new age. I play some Rolling Stones. First thing I play when it's officially my birthday is Rolling Stones. So the last record that I played leaving my house before it was packed away, everything the day before yesterday, was Rolling Stones. The Metamorphosis one, by the way, wasn't it? Or was it the next one? No, I don't remember. That's embarrassing. So this one is Steel Wheels, also in really nice nick. Of course, it's from 1989, so it had about 6 years on it when it got packed away in 95 when I moved all my stuff to Denmark after my dad died. So and then I left my record player and didn't play records again for I think it was 19 years. 12 years ago I got a record player again. So I've been, wanting to hear this on vinyl, but I was thinking, should I get this on a new fresh vinyl? We'll see. I'm still missing 3 of their studio albums on vinyl, which is Bridges to Babylon and the next 2 ones. Yeah, sorry, I don't remember the name right now. And I just pre-ordered the new album today from iMusic because they had some pretty good prices and... I was thinking about ordering something special from their website, but with the shipping and the customs, it just gets... I'm in Norway, so, Next up, The Whole Story by Kate Bush. So a couple of years ago, I was grabbing a couple of records to bring back to Norway, and I was like, because, they're heavy when they're on your in your backpack. So I was, no, I'll take the Cures than Staring at the Sea instead of this one. So I'm happy I can play this one now because I don't have any Kate Bush on vinyl other than this one. And 1 7-inch. You'll see if I make that other video. Wonderful Kate. And I brought this one. This is just your sort of reissue, late 70s, early 80s, I suppose. This is not the this is a blank cover. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Dallas Taylor and Greg Reeves, Deja Vu. You guys all know this one and have it on CD, but I'm very happy to have brought this one. I have a couple of Neil Young vinyls. But apart from Decade, I left the other ones in Denmark, so hopefully they'll do okay in storage. So making my here again is one of those records I'm thinking, should I get a newer one? I haven't played this one yet, so this hasn't been played since probably since 1995 or earlier. I hope it's in okay condition, but I think I would like to get a new copy of this. So this is Joshua 3 by U2. And this is, if I remember correctly, a Swedish pressing. Yeah, and you guys all know this wonderful album. My CD of this, I do play it a lot. And this one was on my wall back then when I was a teenager, so it actually survived being taken down and all that. And it's strange that they were still doing Island, at least in Scandinavia, was still doing these kind of inner sleeves with the advertisement on it. Vinyl looks fine, I just need to clean it. So there we are, guys. So now I have all of U2's studio albums up to Achtung Baby. So, and one or two very later ones. Next up, we're staying with U2. Now this copy is really nice, and that's probably because I didn't play it that much. But this album has grown on me. But why have I put a repairing piece of... Anyway, this is Rattle and Hum, guys. And yeah, this is definitely a Swedish copy because it has that logo, I remember. SB Tryck AB Norsborg, I think it says. And when they were reissuing U2 in these nice clamshell CDs, I remember it was really nice up to Joshua 3, and then they waited a while, and then we got Achtung Baby, but not with a clamshell. It was a deluxe edition, and they just skipped this. And am I mistaken if I'm saying this CD of this hasn't been reissued, except maybe reprinting of the old CDs? I don't remember now. Let's have a look at one of the... Oh yeah, that looks absolutely wonderful. Oh yeah, looking forward to listening to this on vinyl again. Very much so, he said with a terrible attempt at a Scottish accent, speaking about an Irishman. It's because I'm watching Steve Marsh walking around Scotland with his Polish girlfriend, so yeah, again, looks very nice. Yeah. Bono's on side 4. Why is Bono on side 4? Isn't he the main man? Wouldn't he have happened now? He would rather burn down his house than be number 4. What am I doing? Here's another one. If there hadn't been, I would have stopped the video. The Jesus and Mary chain, barbed wire kisses. Yeah, that was my one Jesus and Mary chain vinyl, for some reason, and I remember this being quite off-putting. But I liked their studio albums. But those, I had a cassette or two which are long gone, and then then I have their 4 first albums on the old CDs now. Yeah, so Surfing USA you got here. So yeah, B-sides and more. There's nothing much to look at on the inside. It's just one of these things. Next up, much nicer copy than their next album, which I brought up to Norway and discovered that the inside probably had some liquid in it, so it had been kind of ruined. But here's The Cult with Love. I remember buying this when I was a teenager, and I thought this was just the coolest thing ever. And then I got their next album, and I was like, wait, that doesn't sound like The Cult. I liked it, but I was a bit confused. Why did they go from this to Led Zeppelin? Yes, indeed. So, now this is a band I thought I had all their vinyl albums, studio albums, but apparently I only have 2 of their 3, so I'll just throw them out then, shall I? No. But, yeah, this is, of course, not where Björk started, because she made a solo album as I think an 11-year-old. But this is Life's Too Good by Sugar Cubes. And I think these are Swedish. So yeah, these are records I bought all the way back then when they came out. But I do have their third album, but it's on CD, along with the other two, also on CD. So I have to find that third one. Actually, I looked for it today in a second-hand record store, but couldn't find it. And the Sugar Cubes with their second album, Here Today, Tomorrow, Next Week. Another great album. So the only thing I sort of, because I was recently re-listening to them a lot, and I don't know if I'm a little bit annoyed when what's his name, Jonsi, starts his talk singing. Well, it's not rap in any way. It's more like commenting between singing in tracks and stuff. But yeah. So there you are. And because I do believe I have their second and third album on vinyl somewhere here, I bought their first. This is their first, isn't it? Yeah. So this is this is the band The Christians. A fine album. Includes the singles Forgotten Town, Hooverville, and When the Fingers Point. Very relaxed, nice, soothing music is the way I remember The Christians. And I brought up this old thing. This is a Canadian pressing of Picture Book by Simply Red. Even though it doesn't have a maple leaf on it. We had a record store in Oslo for a while, right next to the Parliament. This is an old security. And they only sold imported records from Canada. And it went okay for a while, but then, whoever went to the government and said, hey, yeah, that's unfair competition. They're selling stuff much cheaper than the normal record stores, and they were gone. So there you are. And I brought up this one. A little bit of a color fade here that I'm not too keen on, but very cool record. I've been wanting to bring this up, but I kept putting my luggage kept being heavy, and I left it. But this time I brought it, and this is of course the Specials. Wonderful album, and it's funny. It's glossy on this side and matte on this side, and it's got an old Norwegian LP price. What price bracket this was? I would guess 66 kroner in the late 70s, early 80s. And it is a German, West Germany pressing. It even says high quality pressing, made in Germany. And there's not much to look at on the inside. It's a chrysalis. And here's another chrysalis. And this is Journeys to Glory, Spandau Ballet. I love especially their first 3 albums. At least there's 2 first. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the other 2. But this one had to come along. I love their early sound. To cut a long story short, Reformation, Mandolin, Muscle Bound, Age of Blows, The Freeze, Confused, and Toys. And it's embossed. I haven't dared take away the price tag, which is from 1994. I paid 45 kroner for this second hand in 94. And I think the other ones I paid like 10 kroner for. That's not a lot of money. You couldn't get records for that price now. And there's the inner sleeve. John Keeble, drums. Martin Kemp, bass guitar. Steve Norman, guitar. Gary Kemp, guitar and synthesizer. And Tony Hadley, vocals and synthesizers. And you see that thing, is it a goat? and a chariot. Looks kind of Viking, but I guess it's probably Celtic. But it's reminiscent of Thor. And it's actually also here. This embossed thing, but it's very difficult to make out even with my eyes directly on it. Not far to go, guys. We have Simple Minds. So this is their debut album. And Life in a Day. Very different to what would happen next. They do not sound anything like they would for their next couple of albums, and then they changed again. But this is more sort of a new wave-ish, punkish thing. The thing was that the songs on this album were probably at least 1 to 2, 3 years old by the time they got around to releasing this. So when they showed up and recorded their second album, their record company, who were, really enthusiastic after their Chelsea Girl single and success with that and Life in a Day and so on, they were, hey, what the hell are you up to? This doesn't sound like you at all, because they had transitioned into something completely different. I wish that documentary was still around where I could watch it, because it was a really good documentary. Came out a couple of years ago. And then we have the wonderful New Gold Dream. And this plugs the holes I had in my vinyl collection up to well, I'll just write it down there. Sorry, I forgot to show you. There's the inner sleeve, almost wax-like. 1982, yeah. 81, 82, and it's on Virgin. It's a clean. And we have equally wonderful Sparkle in the Rain. Stop doing that, Martin. You're offending Scottish people. And several times I've almost grabbed another copy of this secondhand, because I was missing this one so much. But yeah. And of course, I'm a huge Simple Minds fan. I would like to get new pressings of all of these, but from the looks of things, I do not have to. Because this looks fine. Dirty, but fine. And finally, as far as Simple Minds go, this was the last Simple Minds that I bought on vinyl back in the day. From here on, I would buy CDs. So I do have the next album, but the one after that again is near impossible to get on vinyl. It has never been reissued on vinyl, and the vinyls go for silly money. But this is Street Fighting Years. They were down to 3 people by now. And this, of course, was, a bit of a downward turn for them. Sales were... So, there were Charles Burchill, of course, and Jim Kerr. And then was Michael McNeil on keyboards and piano. Mel Gaynor is listed as drums here, but so is Manu Katche. And we have John Giblin, and then also Stephen Lipson on bass guitars, and Lisa Germano is here playing violin. Stuart Copeland is thanked here. Lou Reed has a cameo on vocal on This Is Your Land. And then you have a whole bunch of other additional musicians. So you have Street Fighting Years, Soul Crying Out, Wall of Love, This Is Your Land, take a step back, kick it in, let it all come down. Mandela Day, Belfast Child, of course, and Biko. So this was, I don't know if this arrived sort of a couple of years before the changes in South Africa. And we brought back a little bit of McCartney. I did go out and buy the new McCartney today, a day after release, because yesterday I could have gone to the record shop, but I was carrying all this stuff, and the one I ordered from his website was basically shipped on the day of release. So yeah, thanks for ordering things 2 months before release. Well, but you're not going to get it any earlier. Give my regards to Broad Street. Give my regards to Broad. No, that's something completely different, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful soundtrack to a film, which I have seen but never owned. If anyone has an old Laserdisc of film lying around, then don't send it to those other Laserdisc guys. Send it to me. Send it to me. And we have McCartney 2. Yes. So I did leave a couple of McCartneys behind. A couple of them because I have newer versions, and I didn't need the weight. And Pipes of Peace because it wasn't in the best shape. It was in the shape Tug of War was, which I also replaced not that long ago. Although not in, yeah, it wasn't in that bad, because that Tug of War, I don't know what the hell I did with that one. 11-year-old Morton, not 10, 11-year-old Morton, looks like he mistreated it pretty bad, or someone else did. Finally, I brought back this one. Now, I thought that we were going to get a reissue of this year because it's celebrating the 50th anniversary, and he's done half masters of everything from McCartney via Ram up to Venus and Mars. But I try to search and find if there's anything. Why didn't you give us a half-speed master of this one instead of reissuing Flowers in the Dirt? Not that I'm very happy that you did, or that soundtrack to that movie. I know, and alongside your new album, that's a lot of McCartney. But this is the one I was hoping we would get on a half-speed master this year, because, like I said, and I think it has celebrated its 50th. I think. Thank you for sitting through this. Watch with all the records I brought up from Denmark this time, my last time. This is something I got for a Christmas gift in Christmas 2024, which was my last Christmas in Denmark. That's when I decided to sell my house. But I thought, yeah, you can come up to Norway with me. I think this is from my friend Nina. So, yeah, a little Nisse. If you've been watching this far, thank you, and please click like. That helps my channel. If you want to subscribe, that makes me happy, and I'm always happy to see comments from you guys. And hope you're all well, and hoping you're having a nice, well, spring is over now, I suppose, summers and stuff. Never really got warm here. Today it's around 20 something, but what am I talking about? I don't know. I felt like talking. I hope to see you guys soon in another video. Bye bye.